Looks like Latrina has a question for us.
How do we break free from procrastination and behaviors that don't move us towards our goals?
Lewis, how do we not let our amateur procrastination turn pro?
Man, I think it's really getting clear. I think the enemy of greatness is lacking a meaningful mission. And there's a difference between success and greatness. And I think you guys can resonate with this.
Mm-hmm.
My whole life, I wanted to be successful. That's what I was driven to do and to be, but it was based off of a wound. So I was driven to succeed, Ryan, to look good, to be respected, to get the audience, to make more money so that people would appreciate me, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Though, because it was from a wound where I didn't feel appreciated, and I didn't feel seen. And I accomplished all these successes and it still didn't feel good. It still didn't feel like I was enough.
Yeah.
In success, I've learned it's not bad or wrong. It's by itself selfish. Success is for me to accomplish something. It's for me to win. It's for me to make a certain amount of money. Greatness, what I've learned over the last 10 years since I was realizing success by itself doesn't work. Greatness is about how can I accomplish my mission, but be in service to others along the way. And as Kobe said when I interviewed him, it's making an impact on the people around you where they then impact the people around them. And it continues. That's greatness. It's not about winning. It's not about succeeding. It's not about making the money, getting the downloads, whatever it is. It's about doing those things in service of others. That's greatness. So I think it's reevaluating your goals and saying, is this a part of a bigger, meaningful mission in my life? And a meaningful mission is defined by impacting the people around you. It's not just about what you want. So yes, it includes what you want, but it must be in the service of generosity and impact in others around you as well.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love that.
Health is not primarily defined by the abstinence from unhealthy activities. It's defined by your immersion into activities that are life-giving and abstaining from unhealthy things, bad habits, and so on. That's kind of like an organic response to you having a healthy point of focus, right? So if you're looking at actions you're taking that are unhealthy, things you want to quit doing, things you want to let go of, ask yourself, well, why? Is it because someone else made me feel guilty about it? Is it because someone else says that I'm a bad person for doing these things? Do I want to let go of these things for myself? And if I do, that means I'm presupposing the beauty of some other life I would rather be living if my time wasn't being occupied with this. What does that life look like? Because you got to have a vision that's compelling enough to make you say, yeah, this is holding me back from something that's so much better. Guilt won't do it. There are possibilities born out of love and passion that simply don't arise out of a sense of guilt and externally imposed duty. What is that mission?
Yes.
What is that vision that compels you?
Yeah, and listen, I mean, it's going to be challenging either way. But if we don't love something enough, if we're not excited about it, the challenges are going to make us feel burnt out and overwhelmed. You guys have a lot going on. You got a big business, a big community. You've got expenses. You've got costs. You've got all these things happening. If you didn't truly have a vision or a mission more meaningful than just let's be successful and make money, the challenges and adversities that come, not every day, but when they come in seasons, it'd be like exhausting and draining. But because you do what you do for your community, you do it for a bigger mission than just self. Yes, it's for self and others. Because of that, it allows you to get up with more excitement every day, more consistently, even when you've got stresses and challenges in life or whatever might happen. So that's what I think. It's just shifting your goals into a meaningful mission.
You know, one other thing I say, building on this about the procrastination piece, is that procrastination isn't necessarily a sign that you're being lazy. It might be a sign that you're being lazily ambitious. And what I mean by that is lazily ambitious is when you set a goal that's like really big and it sounds flattering, but it's so vague. You don't have to do anything, right? My goal is to really be healthy.
No, you got to be clear.
My goal is to be free. You know, that's lazily ambitious because it's a positive goal, but it's not defined enough to hold me accountable to anything, right? And when you're setting goals, it's important that you set your goals for what you know you can achieve on the worst day of the week. what I see holding a lot of people back when it comes to procrastination is they set these huge goals. Like, I've never worked out a day in my life. I'm completely out of shape. But starting tomorrow, I'm going to train for a marathon and I'm going to run 5 miles a day. Well, what's going to happen? You're going to procrastinate. When tomorrow comes, it's going to feel really overwhelming. However, if you scale that back and say, all right, I know that every week I'm going to have a terrible day where everyone's needy and all kinds of things are going wrong. What can I do on that day? Well, I can get up, I can put on my clothes, and I can go run for 2 blocks. All right, that's my commitment. I'm doing that every day. Now, when I have that bad day, I'm going to tell myself I can at least run 2 blocks, and I go out there and do it. But what happens when I actually get out there? It's actually easier to procrastinate the process of going back home, changing my clothes, getting in the shower. That's easy to procrastinate. It's easier to keep going forward and say, I'm going to keep running and just do a couple of miles while I'm out here, right? Yeah. So when you set smaller goals, you give yourself the opportunity to build momentum. But sometimes we fear doing that because we don't want to insult the craft. I don't want to insult the craft. I don't want to insult physical fitness by setting this small, laughable goal. But that small, laughable goal is what allows you to become a powerful person over time through momentum. So start small.
Yeah, and I also think a lot of people just lack clarity. Like you said, they're not defining what they want specifically. And and a meaningful mission is, what is it in one sentence you're trying to do with this season of life? Again, that can be, I want to run a marathon in 2 years, but this season of life, this is my meaningful mission. It's to do whatever, a half a mile a day for 3 days a week for this period of time. So I talk about getting super clear on what your meaningful mission is. I don't care if you're from the first caller who is trying to leave the job that she didn't like. What is the meaningful mission? And get clarity. And this is a good practice for everyone watching live or at home or listening later. In one sentence, what is it for this season of life for you? For me, I'm very clear. In one sentence, my meaningful mission is to serve and impact 100 million lives every single week to help them improve the quality of their life. That's it. It's very clear. That is my meaningful mission. And it makes it easy to say yes and no to things that either serve or don't serve that mission. So I don't feel like I'm procrastinating because I know where I'm heading. It excites me. It gives me energy. And I know that I need to keep growing and developing and empowering others around me in order to get closer to that meaningful mission.
Did you enjoy this standalone Patreon highlight? If so, you can listen to full episodes of the Minimalist Private Podcast, available exclusively on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/theminimalists or click the link in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.